Stand up, New York Giant fans. Baddog, we are on draft eve. We are 2 days away from the NFL draft. We are now done with the rumors, or I thought we were done with the rumors. More rumors came out today, so we'll talk about the Drake May stuff. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter.
I did.
New England potentially looking to trade down, but regardless, no matter how many rumors we hear from here on out, we only got to deal with this for about another 48 hours, and then we're going to know who the New York Giants are going to have at pick number 6, or potentially earlier, or potentially later, but we will know who we have in the first round in about 48 hours, so I can't wait to see how it plays out. But Badlock, what's going on, my man?
Yeah, we're anxious, we're excited. Last year, the draft is always fun. Last year, he picked 25th and obviously moved up to 24th. The anticipation's not as great. It's nicer to pick that late, though, because it means you had a good year the previous season. Picking in the top 10 is always fun on draft night, but it means your season was complete crap. We've been picking in the top 10 a lot lately, but obviously this is huge. And I feel like we say it every year, but this really is big because the Giants are going to get one of the 3 best receivers in the draft, or they're going to get one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the draft. So, but in order to do that, they're going to have to give something up. And me personally, I think I've been on record with this saying I'd just rather take a wide receiver and stay put. We only have 6 picks. I know people want to replace Daniel Jones. I understand that. I get it. This draft class is very deep as far as talent goes with the quarterback. You never know how they're going to turn out. But we'll see. Whatever Joe Shane does,
we roll with it.
Right. I'm gonna have to. It doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. It doesn't mean I'm gonna react kindly to it. But
we roll with it.
We roll with it, exactly.
But let's say hello to everybody in the chat. What's going on, Mehmet? What's going on, Big Moo? What's going on, NC? Derek Chess in the chat. Bliss fan in the chat. Scott Young in the chat. JC says, stand up. New York Giants fans, y'all are 2 of the best to do it. We appreciate it. He says Adunze at 6. Certainly one of the 3 or 4 most likely possibilities. We'll do a mock draft definitely as we get going with the stream. We'll talk about some of today's rumors. We'll talk with the chat. We'll answer some of your questions. Appreciate all you guys for being here. Really do. Bado, what were you going to say, my man?
Nothing. The Rangers just scored a goal. That's why I pointed at the team.
What are they? They're up 3-1 now?
3-2. Yeah.
3-2. Okay. So it was 2. They were up 2-1.
Yeah.
But what's going on, Dan C? Officer Richie says, my boys, how you doing? What are your thoughts on the first pick? Yeah, I mean, right. My thoughts haven't changed. I know today, it was rampant on Twitter with the Drake May rumors. This is my thought on the Drake May thing. I have thought all along that the first 3 picks were going to be quarterback. I have thought all along none of those teams are going to trade out because they all need quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. They're all kind of in a rebuild phase. New England has a new head coach, a new cast of characters there. Most important position, you're staring a potential franchise quarterback in the face. I think what's happening 2 days before the draft is New England is throwing bait out there. Would they be open to trading down? Sure, but they would have to get blown away. Like they would we've often talked about in the past what it would take to move up from 6 to 3. You look at the Jets, they gave up 3 seconds to move up to get Sam Darnold. The Colts, but completely different situation. The Colts had a quarterback at the time with Andrew Luck, so they weren't as in need of potentially taking a quarterback, and it was before the draft started. So you figure it might not cost quite as much before the draft starts because you don't know what quarterback's going to be there with that pick. If you wait till the draft at pick 3, the quarterback available, maybe a little bit more of a premium. But I think New England is throwing bait out there to get blown away. Like, they're not taking 3 second-round picks because if you're the general manager of the New England Patriots, how do you sell the fan base on, well, we just passed up on drafting a potential franchise quarterback when we've got Bailey Zappi taking snaps, for 3 second-round picks and a pick swap? How do you sell the fan base on that? So it's not like the Colts-Jets situation for me. So I think the only way New England trades out of that pick, the Giants would have to give up pick 6, obvious, pick swap, pick 47, next year's first-round pick, which in my opinion is probably a top 10 pick, more, especially if you're going to be starting a rookie quarterback. Yeah, more than likely going to be a top 10 pick. And probably next year's second-round pick. You're probably going to have to give up a first and second this year, a first and second next year. Otherwise, I don't think New England's moving out of that pick. Now, do I think Minnesota may be willing to give up heaven and earth? Possible. Do I think Denver might be able to? But what I've gathered from Joe Shane since he's been the general manager, I don't know about you, Bad Dog. Joe Shane doesn't appear, especially with the way that he handled the Saquon Barkley contract situation, he doesn't appear to be the type of guy that's going to go above a price point that he feels is reasonable. And that's the way I feel about it. So I don't think he's going to just empty the cart to go up and get a quarterback. That's the way I feel 2 nights before the draft. Now, maybe he will, but I think that's what it would take to move up to pick 3 to get Drake May. Otherwise, New England sticks at picks and they take the quarterback.
I agree. I don't think Joe Shane is a knee-jerk reaction type of GM. It's obvious he didn't panic with Barkley, and Barkley ended up with our biggest rival, and Joe Shane just rolls with it. I don't think Joe Shane is going to give up the farm for Drake May. It wouldn't make any sense, man. I mean, listen, we have a lot of holes in this team, and we only have 6 picks this year, and you can't be giving up future first-round picks to move up 3 spots, no matter how good you think the quarterback's going to be. I don't see him doing it either. And like you said, why would New England trade out of that pick? They don't have a quarterback. They got rid of Mac Jones. They don't have a quarterback. What are you going to do with a quarterback? So when are they going to pick one? You know, right now they're picking third. Now, yeah, they may pick third again next year, but do you want to wait? Do you want to go, well, we'll take a chance that one of those quarterbacks will be there next year? It's very possible that they do. If somebody gives up next year's first, and they could take that draft capital and move up. But like you said, how you selling the fan base on, we're going to start Bailey Zappi or whoever, Jacoby.
And we're only going to get 3 seconds back.
Right. It's not happening. I think they're taking a quarterback. I think they're just trying to drive up the price. It's called smoke. When people are like, that's why when somebody put on Twitter, a source says, I'm like, what's source? Source. I'm a source. That doesn't mean shit. Who is the source? Right? Anybody's a source.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I don't see it happening. I think the Giants stay put. I really do. Unless Drake May fell to 4th.
McCarthy goes 3.
If that was the case,
yeah,
and you wouldn't have to give up as much with Arizona, because Arizona would get one of the best wide receivers.
And they're similar to the Colts in the sense that in that Jets scenario, they already have a quarterback.
Yeah. So
they're not risking as much trading down. The fan base would be like, okay, you still got a great receiver, and we got extra draft capital.
Correct. You got Kyler Murray, a number 1 wide receiver. And yeah, so if that happens, if Drake May falls out of the top 3, yeah. I definitely see the Giants doing that, because they would not have to give up a future first. At that point, I'm not going to get upset about it. I wouldn't get upset about it. If Drake May is a Giant, I'm not going to throw a fit. I like Drake May. But I don't want to give up a future first and a future second. I want to give up all of our draft picks for him. You know, I don't know if I'd want to do that for anybody. Just because, again, this team isn't close. Like you said, Minnesota, they're a really good team. They're really just a quarterback. They got the wide receivers. They got a good line. They got a good tight end. They're a good team. And Kirk Cousins got hurt last year, and they still, you know, had a decent year. So, yeah, it makes sense for a team like Minnesota. It doesn't make sense for a team like us. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Unless Drake May falls out of the top 3, I don't think the Giants are getting him. I don't think they're trading up to get J.J. McCarthy. You've seen those stories die right down. I think wide receiver's the pick, and I feel like Romo Dunze is their guy. Now, maybe I'm biased because I want Romo Dunze. It's unless Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, then different story. Because that's possible too. You know, we talked about this before. It's possible Minnesota goes up to 4 to get J.J. McCarthy if he's there. And it's very possible that Los Angeles takes Joe Alt. Or the Giants move up 1 spot and say, we got to get Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah. And you guys can move back and take whoever the hell you want at that point. And Giants wouldn't have to give up much to move a 1 spot there. Maybe next year's second. I'd probably be willing to give up next year's second to get Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of decisions for Joe Shane, though. It's easy for us to sit here and talk about it. He's the one that's got to make that decision.
It's going to be interesting. And then the trade down's a possibility, too. But I think the Giants, if they are to trade back, they have to have the same mindset that I'm talking about with New England. You have to get a plethora of picks if you're trading back from that spot, because how do you sell the fan base on it otherwise? Yeah, like the fan base is upset enough that you didn't get a quarterback. Now you're bypassing on potentially getting one of the top 2 or 3 players in the entire draft class. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do that, you better get a boatload of picks. A quarterback hungry team that wants McCarthy, perhaps if you don't want him at 6, you better be getting a future first, pick 11 from the Vikings, pick 20. You better be getting a boatload of picks. In the end, I am gonna say what I've said all along, what I've believed all along. If we're wrong, we're wrong, Bad Dog. But I'm lockstep with you. I don't know if it'll be a doomsday. I think it's certainly a possibility, but I think they're going wide receiver. That's what I've thought all along.
Yep.
I think it's the strength of the draft class, and Joe Shane to me does not appear to be a guy that is going to overpay to move up and get a quarterback. And I don't think New England's going to trade out of that pick unless the team severely overpays.
Yeah.
So that's my outlook. Now, if May falls past 3, all bets are off.
Agreed.
All bets are off. I just have never felt that May's going to fall past that pick.
Yeah, me neither. And again, you talk about Minnesota, but what's Minnesota going to have to give up? They'd have to give up both this year first and next year's first, because if Arizona's trading back to 11, you're not getting an elite receiver there. You're not getting an elite lineman. You're probably not going to get Joe Alt there. You're probably not going to get Brock Bowers. Those guys are going to be gone. So it doesn't make sense. You're now losing out. You've taken yourself out of the top 10, which is difficult.
Yeah.
So I don't think you want to take yourself out of the top 10. Trading back with the Giants at 6, like I said, you're still going to get one of the 3 best receivers in this class, and you're going to get some other draft compensation. That makes more sense for Arizona. I don't know who, again, you never know on draft night. I mean, to me, I think that the first 2 picks are already set in stone. I think it's Caleb. I think it's Jaden Daniels. New England, I'm leaning that they take Drake May, but I mean, who the hell knows?
Crazy things happen on draft night. But I'm with you. I think those are the top 3 picks. I've thought it all along, and I'm not changing my opinion 2 nights before the draft. Noah says, I want Neighbors or May, but it's Rome, and I'm happy. Yeah, I mean, I think those are the 3 most likely names right now. If I had to guess, I think those are the 3 most likely names, and Marvin Harrison probably being the 4th most likely. But obviously, odds are Harrison will be gone before we pick. One thing I found interesting today, I actually posted on Twitter about an hour ago. Last year, if you look at Joe Shane's draft history, and really since he's taken the job, he's put a heavy emphasis on the top 30 visits. If you look at the Giants draft picks last year, 4 of their top 5 picks were top 30 visits. Mm-hmm. And that was, of course, Trey Hawkins, JMS, Jalen Hyatt, and of course, Deontay Banks. 4 of our first 5 picks were top 30 visits. So if you look, I'm because we always say that great minds think alike. A lot of times when we see something, Bad Dog, you will say something after I said it, or I will say something after you said it, and we won't realize it. I want you to look at this list of the top 30 players that the Giants brought in, and we'll get to the rest of the chat in a second. I want you to look at this list. I don't know if you can read it, but I want you to tell me what pattern sticks out to you here. And I shared it on Twitter, and I said an interesting pattern that I picked up from this top 30 list.
The pattern? I see quarterback and wide receiver.
Here's what I'm going to say. When I read the list, what I find interesting about this draft, about this top 30 list compared to what we've heard about the strength of this draft class, everyone has said it is a super deep class at the wide receiver position. Joe Shane has said it's a super deep class at the quarterback position. He's repeatedly said that throughout his press conferences. So I look around at this list by position. Quarterback, you've got Drake May, you got J.J. McCarthy, you got Michael Penix, you got Jaden Daniels, you got Bo Nix, you got Spencer Rattler. For the most part, day 1, late day 2 guys sprinkled in there, maybe an early day 3 guy. So it's kind of all over the draft. And you look at every other position on here, it's kind of the same thing. It's late guys, mid, but what do you see at the wide receiver?
I see those wide receivers. That's what the Giants are doing.
What do you see at the wide receiver spot?
Those are the wide receivers that they're targeting. They will not be there after pick 6. So
and in the deepest wide receiver class, everybody's been telling me in the last 3-4 years.
Giants, you got Leggett, you got Worthy, you got nothing.
Not one of them.
But yeah, you look up there, Michael Penix. I honestly don't think he's getting out of the top 15. But Bo Nix, that's definitely a possibility of a guy that you trade back up into the late first round. I don't really care for Bo Nix, but if they did that there, that's not going to bother me. Spencer Rattler, I've said before, I think is going to get drafted quicker than most people think. But if the Giants are able to get him, I wouldn't want to pick him 47, but I think if they could get him at 70 or they traded up and got him, in the 3rd round or late 2nd, I'd be okay with that too. I know it's Spencer Rattler. I think Spencer Rattler has talent. without question. I think he struggled at Oklahoma, and then once Caleb Williams got in there, I mean, Caleb Williams is the best quarterback we've seen in a long time. So you're not going to take over for Caleb. And then he went to South Carolina. South Carolina's not a good team. They never have been, but he was pretty good there. And they destroyed was it Tennessee? They crushed Tennessee. So I mean, if they went Spencer Rattler in day 2, that's not going to really hurt my feelings. But
yeah,
I'm with you. Those 3 receivers,
I think found that pattern interesting. I found that pattern interesting. I'm not saying that I'm reading too much into it, but Joe Shane's draft history, knowing that he's prioritized the top 30 visits as strongly as he has his first 2 years here, I look at that and I'm like, this is the deepest wide receiver class there's been, and they didn't bring in a single wide receiver that's projected to go outside of the top 7 or 8 picks.
Correct.
What does that tell me?
Tells me they're going to take one of those 3 guys with their first.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that's
because Spencer Rattler, like I said, Rattler, Penix. Well, I think Penix is going top 15. I don't think Penix gets past the Raiders, if I'm being honest, or the Broncos. The Broncos just traded for Zach Wilson. That kind of takes them out of it. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we'll find out, but it's fun to guess.
Find out. Well, I'm surprised Minnesota. Why would Minnesota didn't even trade up? Minnesota could probably get Michael Penix at 11. Why wouldn't they do that?
I think Minnesota is going to trade up.
I do too, but I'm just saying. I mean,
I still think that Penix is the biggest wild card in this draft, and I'm curious to see where he goes in the mocks when we do him in about 20 minutes. Grim says, if the Pats really wanted May, why would they still be trying to drum up interest? It doesn't pass the smell test. I think they went out. If not, maybe JJ. Maybe you'll be right, Grim. At this point, we're all just hypothesizing, speculating, guessing before the draft. I look at it like I think they know that they're in a position of power, and it would be foolish of them not to see if a team is willing to give up an insane amount to come up and get that pick.
Phone calls always. You always field your options without question.
But
like you said, if somebody blows them away, Chris, if somebody says, okay, like Minnesota, for instance, say Minnesota says, we'll give you 11-23 next year's first. Then the Patriots might say, okay, because they might be able to feel, hey, we can get Michael Penix at 11 at this point.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they can say, okay, well, now we can take 11 with something else or 23 with something else and move back into the top 10 and get Michael Penix. I don't know what New England's board looks like, so that's what makes it difficult. But if they like Michael Penix, who's to say they don't say, okay, yeah, you want to give us 11-23 next year's first? Take it, and we'll draft Michael Penix or Bo Nix or whoever the hell they like.
I can't wait to see where Penix goes. I really can't.
I think he's going to the Raiders. It's just a hunch.
You think he's going to the Raiders?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see it. I could definitely see it.
My brother-in-law would be very happy. I turned him on to Penix, and then he watched him. He's really good. I'd love the Raiders to get him, and then I think they're going to, honestly.
I can see it. Elijah says, hey, and I think the Giants should give up pick 647, a 2025 second-round pick, a day 3 2025 pick, and Slayton. If they don't, I won't support the team. Elijah, calm down, man. So, Elijah, first off, you don't even know if that would get the deal done. And you're saying you would stop being a Giants fan if they weren't willing to give up pick 647, a second-round pick, and a day 3 pick for a guy that they may not even like that much. We don't know how they feel about these quarterbacks. Calm down, my man. Calm down, my man.
Yeah, I get a kick out of the guys. Like, if they don't do this, I'm not a Giants fan anymore. I mean, I understand the frustration. Listen, I'm pretty sure about 10 million people saw the way Chris and I reacted to Daniel Jones. It didn't stop us from being Giants fans, and it didn't stop us from rooting from them. And I understand it's frustration. I don't think anybody would actually go, I'm not going to be a Giants fan. You've been a Giants fan your whole life. You have dealt with this shit for, I mean, I don't know how old a lot of you are, but if you're 20, you've been dealing with it for the better part of a decade. Why would you stop now? Why would you go, now this, they didn't take what I wanted this year, I'm done. It's frustration speaking. I like I said, I get it.
We get passionate. Listen, we're the poster childs of passion during the draft.
So we get it. I'm a passion all the time.
And Dominic says wide receiver first round, trade up for Penix in the late first.
That's my dream, Dominic. That is my personal dream. Odunze, and somehow get Penix late in the first. Penix ain't going to be back, won't be there, but that'd be the dream come true for me. Pair them up. I've been saying that probably since the end of the season. Pero Dunze and Penix.
I wouldn't be opposed to that. It's not what I think we're going to do, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, at that point, limited risk with Penix, right?
Right.
At that point, if he gets hurt, okay, you're paying him like $2 million a year. You could easily wipe your hands clean, draft another quarterback in the following draft. If you know, so I'm okay with that. When you talk about Penix to the top 6, not that you do, but I've seen people do. That's
me, Chris. I honestly think Penix is the second best quarterback in this class. I love Michael Penix.
Yeah,
I'm not taking him at 6. I'm not doing too many risks. Just like McCarthy. Like I'm not. It's not because I don't think McCarthy can be. It's just for me. There's too many questions. Oh, he was 27-1 in college. Yeah, I know. So he's never faced adversity. He's never been on a losing team. He's had the best around him, which is why a lot of the quarterbacks in big schools come into the NFL and don't play well, because you're going from a top school with top talent and you're better than everybody else. And when you're drafted in the top 5, you're going to teams that are worse than everybody else. And how you make that adjustment really depends on the player. So this is why, for me, it's not because I don't think McCarthy can be a good quarterback. I think there's too many questions to take him that early, especially if you're talking about trading up to get him. Okay. Yeah. There's questions about all the quarterbacks. But I think because he hasn't had to really face much adversity, you're going to face adversity in New York all the time. Yeah. So maybe he can handle it, maybe he couldn't. But there's a lot of pressure. And, it happens. And you got a guy in Daniel Jones that can handle the pressure, but God forbid that the team's no good. So take it for what it's worth. But the same thing at Penix. It's just different concerns. He's a lefty. That's first and foremost. Blindsides Evan Neal. That's not really good. Evan Neal hasn't proven to be a really good right tackle. Okay. Yeah. He's also had he's torn his ACL twice, same ACL. He's had a shoulder injury. Those are concerns. Granted, he's cleared all medicals. He ran a 4.46. The man's a beast. He
hurt in 2 years. Well, he did get hurt. Not a significant injury, but he got hurt in the playoff game, right? At the end.
Yeah. But it pick 6. I love him. I don't want him that early. Just take the wide receiver.
Take the best
Just
player.
Take the safe pick.
Take the best player.
The safe pick.
Take the best player, man. I'm with you.
Yeah, I take the best player. I agree.
And Chris says, what do you think? I actually had him going, Chris, in my only mock draft I did on the channel this year. I had him going in the 3rd round, not at 47. The Giants brought him in for a top 30 visit. I like him. I mean, you're adding another pass rusher, so I'm not against that if they go that route. Obviously, the Giants liked him. Penn State. So, yeah, I'd be okay with that if they go that route in 47. I think a lot of people have been looking at 47, and they've been thinking secondary, as have I. It's a clear need for this team. I think
edge guard. Cooper Beebe is a name. Again, I love the Washington guys. I mean, I'm a Braylon Trice guy. I know Braylon Trice would be there at 47, but I really like him. But I mean, if Cooper Beebe is there at 47 and you're talking about beefing up the offensive line, it's a good opportunity to do that. But when we talk to Justin Pugh, when you watch Justin Pugh's videos, Justin Pugh mentions the pass rush. And listen, when we were winning Super Bowls, what were the Giants known for? The pass rush. Yeah. They had a good offensive line too, but that pass rush was ridiculous. Both during the Lawrence Taylor, Carl Banks days and during the Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan days, they had a really good OCU Manure. They had a really good pass rush. So
that's the bread and butter, man. That's Giants.
But you know what, Chris? To me, I think BPA goes the first 3 days or the first 3 picks.
I agree with you. But I do think that may be in the ballpark of BPA. I think defensive line, corner. I think that's where I'm looking at that, and potentially offensive line. You mentioned Cooper Beebe. I think those are the 3 positions. I think the Giants are intrigued by it. I mean, of course, this could all change if they take a quarterback in the first round. Then obviously you sprinkle wide receiver in there as a possibility. But if they do what we think they're going to do, I think it's going to be on either side of the line or the secondary with that second pick. That's what I predict.
Yep.
Grim says the other I think you mean, well, the other 2 of the top 3 teams are not fielding offers. Well, the Bears, we all know the Bears ain't trading that pick. They're taking Caleb Williams. Washington, by all accounts, are not fielding offers. They're going quarterback. I'm not saying New England won't trade the pick. I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah, they're going to be blown away, though.
What I'm telling you is they're not going to trade the pick for what the Jets gave up to jump from 6 to 3. You're going to have to give up a ton. Listen, if that's Joe Shane's guy and he's willing to put his job on the line and surrender what I think would be probably a swap this year, a second, next year's first, and next year's second, or a future second, and he truly believes in that guy, he think he could overcome all the adversity on this team, or he could build a team around him without that draft capital for the next 2 or 3 years to support him, listen, I'm going to support him and hope Joe's right. I think Drake May's tremendous. I think Drake May is in terms of upside in this draft, I think he's got the second highest upside of any quarterback in this draft.
I think what for me, again, we have so many holes on the team. I just think BPA is where it's at. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with a corner. I don't think you can, we're talking like the second wide receiver, edge rusher, guard, corner. I think that all those are big time needs. And if the Giants decide to go quarterback, obviously they feel it's a need. Again, it's just funny for me. Like Daniel Jones going into year 6, I'm done making excuses for Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones has had some serious injuries, but God Almighty, there's always just, for whatever reason, the back of my head, there's always something as the year begins that I feel this is going to be the year he does good, and he just has. I do. Like, if we get close to the season, and all of a sudden my confidence in him is okay. I think Daniel Jones can do it, and then inevitably he doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do I keep fooling myself? And I don't think that's because, deep down in my heart, I believe that he's the guy. I'm a Giants fan, and deep down in my heart, I want him to be the guy.
Of course.
So I make myself believe, because if I didn't believe that we could actually win games, I'd be like, why the hell do I bother watching? Well, if I don't think we're going to win, if I really think Daniel Jones is that bad and we have no chance, what am I wasting my time for? So either I'm tricking myself or I believe it, or maybe it's a bit of both.
I think it's a little bit of both. I don't think I've ever believed he could be an elite quarterback. I think over his 2022 year, I believe that he could grow into being a top 10 to 15 quarterback consistently with Brian Daboll as his head coach, and everything went to hell.
The injuries are what really scares me about him.
At this point, I'm done with Daniel Jones in terms of thinking that he's going to be the long-term answer. I think he could have a pretty decent year next year if you get him Malik Neighbors, sure. If he could stay healthy and the offensive line isn't a joke. But no matter what they do in this draft, I think at some point Joe Shane's going to get a quarterback.
I agree. I just don't think Daniel Jones is the dynamic. He's not a game changer. And I think this day and age, that's what a lot of teams look for. That's what you're taking. That's why they take quarterbacks in the top 5, because you're looking for the game changer.
I get it.
You're looking for your CJ Stroud. You're looking for your, Pat Mahomes didn't go in the top 10, but you get my point.
He went 10th. He went 10th.
He went 10th. I'm sorry. He didn't go in the top 5. I meant to say but you get my point. You're looking for plus Mahomes went into a great situation.
He did.
So, but you're looking for your Josh Allen. You're looking for the guy.
We say it all the time. There's only about 8 quarterbacks who are not replaceable.
Yeah.
In the NFL.
It's a tough position.
There are certain quarterbacks that play themselves into the position where they can't be replaced, like Daniel Jones did in 2022. Like Dak Prescott does routinely with the Dallas Cowboys, like Kirk Cousins did with the Minnesota Vikings. But and
now the Falcons. And by the way, the Falcons could be in trouble for tampering. I don't know what that means. That they could give up some more picks, and that would help Minnesota out a lot if Atlanta had to give them something, or they had to forfeit. If Atlanta had to forfeit number 8, boy, that'd be a crusher.
Yeah, big time. Toasty says not all quarterback classes are this deep. Got to get one in round 1. Well, that's the argument, and I get it. I think a lot of fans say you don't know, and they think from Joe Shane's perspective, you don't know when you're going to be picking this high again. You don't know when you're going to love a quarterback class. All you got to do is go back to 2022. The whole reason why Daniel Jones even got the opportunity in 2022, let's be honest with ourselves. If this quarterback class was in 2022.
Yeah, Giants are quarterbacking.
And the Giants had the 5th and 7th pick.
Yeah.
Giants are going quarterback. Let's be real with ourselves. The team didn't even pick up Daniel Jones on the 5th-year option. So I think a lot of fans look at this situation. They say Jones got hurt again. We know we're committed to him for this year, but it's at the top of this draft. It's supposed to be a strong quarterback draft class. There's no guarantees we're going to be picking this high again in the near future. This may be Joe Shane's opportunity to take that swing at that position. I get it. I think it is a logical line of thought. I I'm just of the mindset that I do not think Joe Shane is going to force a quarterback pick, and I don't think he's going to overspend in a trade to move up to get one.
Not either, because I think Joe Shane.
I do. I think he would trade up for the right price, but I think New England's going to look for a lot more than what Joe Shane's.
Like I said, I think the only way the Giants get a quarterback is if Drake May doesn't go in the top 3. I think if that happens, there's a good possibility Drake May is a Giant. Other than that, I don't foresee any scenario in which the Giants get a quarterback this year, because like you mentioned, if you're giving up the farm, number one, you're not going to be, we don't have a lot of talent already. You've seen that with Daniel Jones. He hasn't had a really good team to work around. Drake May wouldn't have a really good team to work around. And now you've taken all your draft capital away and you're going to have a hard time building a team around him. And then Joe Shane's going to end up losing his job. Where I think if Joe Shane sticks with Daniel Jones and tries to build a team around him, maybe the clock still hasn't started, because Daniel Jones is still the guy. And I think that if they have another bad year, say Daniel Jones gets hurt again, and now you're in the top 10 again. Yeah. So you're going to look at the class and go, oh, well, Shedeur Sanders isn't as good as Drake May, or Cam Ward isn't as good as Drake. But you don't know. They haven't played this year because these guys come out of nowhere every year. So maybe Cam Ward has a huge year and you're like, we got to get Cam Ward. Listen, I liked Cam Ward if he went this year. Yeah. So
you can't project the quarterback class this far.
You can't force a quarterback. You can't force it. If it's there to be had, sure. But I can't see Joe Shane giving up massive draft capital to move to 6-3.
After he just gave up our 39th pick before the draft even started.
Correct.
It's going to be a lot to get to 3. It's going to be a lot.
I don't see it happening. I think wide receiver is the pick, whether it's Harrison, unless all of us would love it if it was Marvin Harrison. I don't think that happens, but I think it's a Doomsday Neighbors.
Unless McCarthy goes 3.
Right.
Which
if McCarthy goes 3, we're getting Drake May.
Yeah, which I will not completely rule out. I will not completely rule that out.
I think they're getting Drake May if McCarthy goes 3.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. I think May's going to go 3, but I won't completely rule it out. Toasty says not a quarterback. Oh, I just read that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good point you bring up. And Chris says, how do the Giants sell the fan base on starting Jones next season? Look, I get it, Chris. I get it. For all the reasons I just said, I understand that line of thought. But it's not Joe Shane's job. I mean, I guess technically it is his job to sell the fan base. But at the end of the day, Joe Shane's job is to do what he feels is right for the best long-term interest of this football team. And if he's not fully committed to a quarterback, or what it would take to go up and get a quarterback he's fully committed to with all the other holes on this roster, he's going to do what he feels is right for this football team. I think he's shown you his first 2 years here. He's not going to just draft a quarterback to draft one. He's going to do.
So for me, the way I look at this, Chris, is it's Chris, you, and Chris, him.
Yeah.
The difference is the Patriots have quarterbacks sitting in their lap. We don't. If we were picking 3rd,
easy,
and he asked that question, then I'd agree. Then we'd be saying, how the hell do we sell the when we could draft Drake May at 3 and not give up anything? How the hell do you sell a fan base on? How are you passing on that guy for Daniel Jones? But at 6, to have to trade up and probably give up a future first, that's how you sell a fan. Well, listen, I don't want to give up all my picks. I feel that we could see. Let's see what Daniel Jones for another year. He has to play anyway. He's here anyway. We can't get rid of him. He is our quarterback. Yeah. Regardless, he's here regardless, whether he's injured, whether he's healthy. What he is already here. The Patriots have a different situation. They don't have a quarterback, so it's a different situation. That's why Joe Shane sells the fan base on Daniel Jones, just like he did last year when he gave him $160 million. Now, granted, I didn't sell everybody. Some people were really pissed off at the contract.
Yeah.
Some people loved it. Some people understood it. Didn't love it, but understood it.
Most people understood it. I think that's most people. I think most people understood it. But I think Shane, and some people certainly hated it, but I think Shane looks at I think Shane's initial plan was, we know we overachieved last year. Let me build this team for the next 2 years. And if Daniel Jones progresses, great. If he doesn't, we're going to move on. And I don't think he's going to steer away from that plan unless Drake May falls in his lap, or unless May falls past 3 and it's a much more reasonable trade.
Yeah, but I think
that's what I feel in my bones.
But I do. I think that's the big difference, is that the Patriots don't have to give anything up. They don't have a quarterback. The guy's in their lap.
Yeah.
they'd be trading away. They'd be making sure they don't get one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this draft class. Whereas we would be having to give up something.
Let's ask the chat. I'm very curious, and we're gonna catch up with these super chats. We appreciate all you guys for being here. We got almost 900 people in here. Thank you to everybody. I'm gonna try. I'm just curious to see the chat's reaction. What would make you happier on draft night? I'm very curious to get the pulse of the fans. Giving up the picks that I said that it would take to get Drake May. Pick 6, a future first in 2025, which you have to figure is going to be a top 10 pick, especially if you're going to be starting a rookie quarterback. Your second round pick this year and your second round pick next year. Or staying at 6 and getting Malik Neighbors or Roma Dunze. What makes you happier on draft night? Selling the farm for the quarterback or taking a guy that many feels a top 3 or 4 player in this draft and not giving away any picks?
Yeah, I'm just take a wide receiver. That's where I am. We only have 6 picks. We need picks. I'm just get Daniel Jones the number 1 wide receiver. May not make a difference in the end, but it would be nice for him to have one. He's never had a number 1 wide receiver. So maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. But regardless, if it ain't Jones and it's somebody else coming in here, at least he'll have a number 1 receiver to throw to. If you give up everything, you take Drake May, who the hell is he throwing the ball to? Who the hell's protecting him? And who the hell are you going to get next year? You know? So, again, all the people that, say Daniel Jones and everything around him, the Giants are a good team, you're putting Drake May in that same situation. Now, Drake May could definitely be better than Daniel Jones. He could definitely elevate the players around. We could definitely get rid of the ball quicker. He could definitely make the line look better. He could definitely be healthier. But again, I just think that's just it's too much.
It seems like people are split. There's a lot of people that are saying sell the farm. There's a lot of people that say wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, and that's Christy. I would expect that because I think that a lot of it's split on Daniel Jones sucks or Daniel Jones is the guy. And then I think that's why.
Some people that still think Daniel Jones is the guy, but I don't think there's that many people that think that now. But
that's true. I think that's the minority now.
I think it's more so split on a crowd that wants to go quarterback no matter what with this pick, no matter what it takes to do it, or the crowd that says we understand we need a quarterback at some point, but this may not be the right time to do it. Given the current situation.
Listen, I like Drake May, but we have seen in the past, you don't necessarily need to take a quarterback in the top 5 of the quarterback to succeed. If they get a good team around him, then you develop them. Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round pick, ended up being pretty good. Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick. He ended up pretty good.
But to be fair, the percentages aren't likely.
Oh, of course not. But Chris, we went over the percentages of top 10 picks, so they're not great. That's not great either, right? So Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick. Jalen Hurts was a 2nd-round pick.
Montana, Brady,
right. It's just I understand the game's changed and the pocket passers kind of gone by the wayside, but I'm just saying, I think if you have a really good team and you take a decent to above average quarterback with a good coach like a Daboll that can really develop the quarterback and he's got a solid cast around him, that's the type of team that can win. As opposed to having the dynamic quarterback with nothing around him, kind of like Trevor Lawrence, right?
Or Andrew Luck.
What's that?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Herbert.
Exactly. It's as good as those guys are. Josh Allen had Stephon Diggs, but I mean, look at how great Josh Allen is. They can't get to the AFC Championship game. It's hard. It's hard to build a winner. You got to find balance, and you got to get lucky. Let's face it. You got to get lucky. The Giants need some luck. They got to hit on some of these picks. We can say look, Evan Neal looked like a fantastic pick on draft night. Hasn't produced, right? So you just don't know. You never know.
Yeah. And when you talk about having more of the complete team, arguably the three best teams in the NFC last year were built in that mold. Not that they won a Super Bowl, but the
Right.
Lions, best offensive line in football, one of the best defensive lines in football.
Yeah.
Jared Goff thrived due in large part to that. The Eagles, I think we could all agree, have a great supporting cast for Jalen Hurts. The 49ers, great supporting cast for Brock Purdy.
Right.
So there's multiple ways to build a football team. I won't
There
argue
is.
with you on that. Corp says, hey, Anthony and Baddog, I love you guys. I appreciate all that you do. Never stop your passion. New York Giants fans, stand up for the draft in 2024. Let's go, man. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here, man. And David, man, thank you so much, man, for the incredible generosity, man. Same goes to you. Once again, Corp, man, thank you, man. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to experience it with both you guys and everybody else in this chat on draft night. Appreciate all you guys.
We're gonna have a big crowd.
I can't wait, man. But thank you guys once again. And David says, hi, my favorite Super Giants bros. First, congrats, Chris, on the Knicks. Let's talk about that real fast. I can't believe we've gone this entire stream, 43 minutes, and we haven't brought up the New York Knicks last night. Baddog, what the hell was that? I said it during the stream, Baddog. I think that is, since I've been watching the Knicks, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a moment in the early 90s because I was like 7, 8. But off the top of my head, that was the third best finish in a Knicks playoff game that I could remember. And that was Allen Houston, game winner.
99, yep.
And the LJ 4-point play.
Yeah, even in the early 90s, like I don't remember. I mean, they were really good, 92, 93, but I don't remember a finish like that. Now, I was getting ready to do the Laker game, but obviously I'm watching the Knicks because I go live at 9:30. So when I didn't know what the hell happened, I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what is that? There's no foul. There's no thing. What the hell's going on? DiVincenzo shoots up an absolute brick. All of a sudden, he's got the ball back. He's running for 3 nails. I went insane.
How does
I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe. What's that?
How does Hartenstein get that rebound? The Sixers had 4 guys that could box him out. None of them boxed him out.
No, but listen, boxing out's a lost art in the NBA. But I mean, the Knicks, listen, they just fight. That's what, the Knicks would have the most talent. This is the way they won in the 90s. Now, granted, they didn't win a championship, but in the 90s, they didn't out-talent you. They outworked you.
Yeah.
Josh Hart the Knicks have a lot of those guys. You know what I mean? They have a lot of guys, the Hartensteins, the Josh Harts, the Jalen Brunsons, these guys, no pun intended or pun intended. They have a lot of heart. The Knicks have a lot of heart. And I also joke around because I say, in basketball, there's just one guy, it seems, on every team that I really hate. And I don't know why. I just don't like them. Like on Denver, it's Michael Porter Jr. Like I can't stand Michael Porter Jr. On Phoenix for years, it was Jay Crowder. Like I hated Jay Crowder. Last year was Dante DiVincenzo. I freaking hated him on the Warriors. But I'm like, it's amazing what a jersey change does, right? I'm like, yes, Yeah. So, then there's no place like the Garden. Listen, 30 years ago, and obviously I have the Rangers on right now. They're up 4-2. 30 years ago, 1994, the Knicks were in the finals. The Rangers won the Stanley Cup. Listen, the Knicks are the 2 seed in the East. The Rangers had the best record in hockey. Could you be seeing a repeat? Now, hopefully the Knicks win a damn championship because out of all the teams that I root for, they haven't won. They haven't won since before I was born, and I'm almost 50, man.
It'd be not. It's gonna be tough, but it'd be
tough. But I'm telling you, Boston's the one that worries me. I think they can beat anybody else, and we talked about it last week when we did the show. I think it was after Justin Pugh left. You can't be scared. Oh, you don't want to play the Sixers. You can't be scared. If you're going to win the championship, you're going to have to beat the best teams anyway.
You're going to have to beat the Sixers.
So just face who you face.
And what's been so special?
In both games, Chris, the Knicks got off to the worst start.
In both games. But, and we're going to get back to the Giants right after this. But the most impressive thing to me through these first 2 games for the New York Knicks, Jalen Brunson has played arguably his 2 worst games of the season.
He hasn't played well at all.
He has not played well. Joel Embiid
has not played well either.
He's played well, Joel Embiid.
He hasn't shot well, though.
He's looked much healthier than I thought he would.
Yeah, but he hasn't shot well.
Despite that, the Knicks are up 2-0.
Yeah, the other thing is, I said this too. With Embiid's going to get his. It's fine, but you can't let the other guys go off. You can't let the Tyrese Maxey's go off. You can't let the Tobias Harris's go. You can't let those guys also go off. You can't let the supporting cast have big games. And I say the same thing covering the Lakers or Denver. I'm like, Jokic is going to get his, but you can't allow Michael Porter Jr. to go off, Aaron Gordon to go off, Jamal Murray to go. You can't allow all those guys to go off with him because that's how you end up losing. The Knicks have done a good job. Listen, man, the Knicks play a lot of energy. There is no place like the Garden. There just isn't.
Especially during the playoffs.
Hockey or basketball. It's insane.
Yeah.
People are saying to me, like, man, when are you going to a Knicks playoff game? I'm like, I can't afford that.
Like $1,000.
I can't afford that. $1,000 to touch Clyde Frazier's banner up in the rafters.
I'll probably go to. I went to a city bar for game 1, so I'll probably do that again. But I'm not going. It's too much.
Yeah, I can't. I got a mortgage on my house to get Knicks playoff tickets.
David says my favorite Super Giants bros. First, congrats, Chris, on the Knicks. Fantastic finish. Thank you so much. I did a mock draft earlier and came up with MHA at 6. We're gonna do a mock draft in about 10 minutes. Newbin at 47. He was in my only mock draft I did on the channel. Jenkins at 70. I would love
Jenkins was there at 70 every mock draft that I did. I would love that to be the case because we both love Jenkins.
If we got Chris Jenkins to pick 70, I'd be ecstatic. Yeah. Jackson says, if we don't take me in the first, I don't want a quarterback in the second. I would rather take the wide receiver Dunze and Michael Pratt in the fourth. I'm cool with that. I mean, Pratt's I don't mind a day 3 quarterback.
I'd rather have Joe Milton over Michael Pratt, but
yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with.
I'm not gonna care either way. I mean, we took Kyle Aletta, we've taken Davis Webb,
At that point though, we only have 6 picks. I won't be upset if they go quarterback because I'll say you look around the league, backup quarterbacks make $8, $9, $10 million in this league, and Joe Shane kind of alluded to it in his press conference when somebody asked him about that, the depth of the quarterback class. And he said, if you're not picking in the first and you look at day 3, you're more so looking for a guy that could be a long-term backup that maybe could sprout into something else. If we
got one,
absolutely,
we got our backup.
But that's that. I get that line of thought though, because even if if you take a quarterback around 6, 5, you got to pay that guy $1 million with what backup quarterbacks get in today's game. It's a good investment. You save $6, $7, $8 million on your cap. So. They like a guy long-term backup with some upside. I'm okay with it. But with the limited picks that the Giants have, if you don't believe in a guy to take in the first round, I'd rather just continue to fill in the other holes on this roster throughout the course of this draft. Just continue to build up this roster for the future quarterback, if and when it's probably not going to be Daniel Jones. So that's how I feel about it. I'm not in love with the idea of having to deal with a fan base that's so divided again next year at the quarterback position. But I could live with it if the rest of this team improves. The offensive line matures, you get that number 1 weapon, and then you say to yourself, "This is a better situation now to move up and get a quarterback in the following draft." So I can see it going both ways. But if they go quarterback, go for the home run early on in this draft.
Yeah, listen, I can't see them taking a quarterback in day 3. But at that point, you're not gonna blow a gasket in day 3. You know those guys are players that you hope make the team in any capacity.
Yeah.
Right. That's really what it is. So if they catch on as a special team or you feel like you got your money's worth, if they end up being a starter, it's like, wow, we really nailed that. Like Micah McFadden, for instance, he's a 5th round pick. He looks fantastic. That's where these GMs make the money. You should not miss when you're in the top 10. That's how GMs lose their job. GMs make their money on day 3. Or the 3rd through the 6th round. That's really when you can find depth pieces or find guys that turn into stars during those rounds. That's when you become, because you're not paying them anything. Yeah. And then that's when you draft well, you're a really good GM. That's what happens. Or if you're a cap wizard like Howie Roseman is, and you can somehow move all the crap around and still find all the cap space and move up and trade and whatever the hell he's doing. As much as I hate the Eagles, you got to give the guy credit. I mean, he knows what the hell he's doing. He's smart. So, if Joe Shane ends up like Howie Roseman, I don't think Giants fans are going to be upset.
Yeah. Well, of course not. And Peter, man, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Appreciate you for being here. Zach says, hope you fellas are having a great offseason. Thank you for being here, man. May is the only quarterback we should trade up for. If not, a Dunze at 6 and Spencer Rattler on day 2. I personally am not in love with the idea of Rattler at 47.
70, I could see it.
I'd be okay with it at 70. I'm fine with that. I don't think I'd want to take him as high as 47. For me,
no, I don't either. No.
I think my cutoff at 47 is Bo Nix. After that, I'd want to wait another round.
Yep, agreed.
But Zach, man, thank you very much. And Peter says, Do you think the possibility of trading Jones to the Pats will lessen what they would want in return? No. I've seen people bring up this idea, Peter.
Never happened.
Why would the
Patriots? Why would the Patriots take a guy with an injury history and a big contract when they could just get a rookie quarterback?
Now, granted, people have said that the Giants would have to eat the large portion of that contract, but either way, if you're the Patriots, I don't want Daniel Jones.
Right? No,
I don't want. I'd rather get another first-round pick.
Chris,
I'm not going to lessen what you give me if you give me Daniel Jones.
Right.
I want the picks. If I'm
how about this? Remember earlier, somebody super chat and said, "How did the Giants sell the fan base on Daniel Jones? How would the Patriots sell the fan base on Daniel Jones?
Yeah,
we're going to give up 3, but we're going to take Daniel Jones. How would the Patriots? How would they sell the fans? Hey, listen, Daniel Jones had 2 neck injuries, torn ACL. He didn't produce for the Giants. They're a bad team. We're a bad team, but we're going to bring him in here and change it.
It's not going to happen.
I can't.
I get where fans are coming from. They need a quarterback. I guess they're not.
I heard though the rumor with Denver.
Yeah,
which would have made more sense.
Oh, with the where we get the corner.
Yeah, but yeah. They just picked up his 5th-year option. So
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But yes, I would love that.
But yeah, I mean that would have made a little bit more sense. Or like, no, I don't even think it was with a corner. I think I saw something that said for like a 3rd-round pick. And I'm like, well, that way, if the Giants went quarterback, that would make more sense. What's that?
What room are you talking about? I think I mixed them up. What room are you talking about?
All over the place. There was one about giving up draft picks or Denver giving up draft. Now somebody said there was Denver was going to give them the 12th pick. I'm like, that's definitely not happening.
Yeah.
But there was another one I read somewhere that said it would be for a 3rd-round pick. I'm like, well, if the Giants went quarterback in the 1st round.
Yeah.
And Denver said, we'll give you a 3rd-round pick for Daniel Jones, and the Giants might actually consider that. But
yeah,
Jones is the Giant next year. I think Giants fans that don't want Daniel Jones here, just relegate yourself to the fact he's going to be here.
Yeah.
Just expect him to be here. And if he's not, you can be pleasantly surprised. I don't see any scenario in which Daniel Jones is not here in 2024.
Well, of course he's going to be here.
Yeah. 2025, different. 2024, he's quarterback.
Denver traded for Wilson, didn't they, yesterday? They got Zach
That's
Wilson.
right. They did trade for Zach Wilson.
They got Zach Wilson, yeah. Right. Which was a good trade for them. They didn't give up anything. It was like a swap of 7th-round picks.
And they got his mom, too, so that works out.
The mom alone is worth a 7th-round pick. we were starstruck.
Everybody was.
When Zach Wilson got drafted a couple years ago, but it wasn't because of Zach Wilson. It was because of his mom.
Yeah.
Bigum says every year the so-called experts say there aren't great quarterbacks next year, and then the world turns and guys pop up out of nowhere.
It's a fact, Mo. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels came out of nowhere. Joe Burrow came out of, and that's the other thing. People are like, I don't want Bo Nix. He's old. I don't want Michael Penix. He's old.
Jaden Daniels.
Joe Burrow is older than Daniel Jones. If the Giants had Joe Burrow, would you be mad right now?
Of course not. I mean, he's hurt, but no.
Right, but I'm saying if Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl,
Yeah,
would you have said that they took him because he was 24 years old and not 21?
Of course not.
He got to a Super Bowl the second year. I wouldn't be upset.
Chris says if the Giants have another bad year, fire the coach of the GM. I will not endorse that. I know that there will be Giants fans calling for that. I'll understand it. I am not going to endorse firing Joe Schoen.
They get 4 years.
Yeah, I'm giving Joe Schoen 4 years.
They get at least as much time as Gettleman had.
Yeah, so I won't endorse that. But I'm sure some Giants fans will, Chris, and you'll be one of them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully they have a great year. NFL Beastie says, would you trade Kayvon to use less draft capital? What do you mean in terms of moving up for a quarterback? I mean, I wouldn't want to trade Kayvon. I think Kayvon could be great.
Especially with Brian Burns on the other side.
I don't see the Giants doing that. I mean, if it was so, if you're asking me in the hypothetical, would I rather trade Kayvon in the 6th pick than giving up a future first? I mean, it depends. It depends on what my alternatives are, but I wouldn't seek to trade out Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau is still really young. He's got help now on the other side with Brian Burns.
Yeah, it's 12.5 sacks last year. I think it's the first player ever to have 10 sacks under Wing Martindale.
It is. And I get it. A lot of it's empty stats, and he wasn't as consistent as a lot of us were hoping going into last year. But at the same time, he wasn't consistently rushing the passer.
Right.
They're dropping him back into coverage a lot more than he probably feels he should be, right? So I think Bowen's going to put Kayvon in a much better situation to succeed. So I'm not looking to trade Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he's one of the core pieces of the long-term future of this New York Giants football team.
Yeah. Again, just Justin Pugh was talking about the pass rushers. Can't have enough pass rushers. And remember, we put in 5 pass rushers in our NASCAR package years we were winning the Super Bowl. So I don't want to get rid of a guy that actually has shown some incredible talent. I don't want to give up on that guy already.
Yeah.
For a quarterback or whatever, you still would have to give up something else. I mean, they're not just going to take a player. Again, if you're thinking about the Patriots, why would the Patriots say, okay, we'll get rid of the quarterback for Kayvon Thibodeau? Like, as good as he can be, is he going to change your team as much as a quarterback at number 3? Probably not.
Of course not.
Right.
But we would need to give up something. But he's saying if it would lessen the blow of draft picks, but
you're still going to have to give up a lot, I think. I don't think you're just getting away with that with Kayvon in the 6th overall pick. I a pick swap. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. Mark says, salute, fellas. Do we get a quarterback or a wide? I mean, we've talked about it, Mark. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for being a member. We're both leaning wide receiver going into the draft. I think that's where we've been all along. I think that's where we both still are, but that's what's fun about the draft. We'll find out. Peter says, wasn't Baddog low on Jones? Well, I think all Giants fans were low on Jones after the season started.
Yeah, I was high on him going into the year. Absolutely. Yeah. Chris and I were talking about how he could be a top 10 quarterback, but he got lambasted in that first game, and then he got hurt, and that was it. Against Seattle, I think the game against Seattle, when he threw the pick 6, especially, I'm like, he ain't it. I think at that point when they scored 3 points, because Seattle was terrible at the beginning of the year, getting to the quarterback, and their pass defense was terrible. I think at that point, I just said no.
That was the game where it really stood out to me that he's really shell shocked.
Yep, and I was like, he's not the guy. He just can't do it. I think that was the game. No, but going into the year, I was super high on Chris and I both agreed with Leia. It made sense to give him the money.
Yeah.
So. No, I mean, if I was low on him all year, I would have said that's a stupid contract. I can't believe they did that. Fire Joe Shane like a lot of people did on Twitter. I said, I understand it. And then it makes sense to me. That was more like a 2-year player extension with a 2-year option. That's kind of what this was. And
unfortunately, quarterbacks make ridiculous amounts of money.
And unfortunately, he got hurt, and then he got hurt again. And now the Giants are talking about quarterbacks. So you need to know.
Yeah.
I was down on him early in the year, but not all year.
Yeah, how could you not have been? It was a disaster. I mean, granted, there was a lot of injuries, but he did not help the team.
No.
Rich Rod, he says, I would love May, but not giving up the farm. Draft wide receiver at 6, then big boy D tackle in the 2nd round. It sounds like you're making my mock draft right now, Rich Rod, but we're going to do that in 5 minutes. Build the team, not risk all for future assets. I think that's where my head's at, Rich. A combo of those 2 positions is what I could see. Shane says, on my way home, saw Deontay Banks in a car. Oh, God, I don't think you'd lie about that. Hope he's okay. Didn't look too bad. Hoping for neighbors on Thursday. Well, hopefully he's okay, man. I love Deontay Banks. Hopefully he's okay, man, Shane. But hopefully you get home safe, and thanks for tuning in. We break news here, Baddog. Jimmy Bernard, thank you for being a member for 45 months. Stand up, Dana. April's draft brings May's Super Bowl. Who is this year's Derek Tao? Remember Tuska? A.K.A. the 7th round guy we all fall in love with and we don't get. Yeah, good question. Who is that guy? That brings us to the mock draft. Let's do it.
I can tell you what, it's not bumper pool this year.
That brings us to the mock draft. But let's do it. Let's do a 7-round mock. Let's do a 7-round mock, Baddog. We'll have some fun. Of course, we always end it with an Eagles mock. Now, I want this to be semi-realistic, but for the first one, we'll just do whatever the computer gives us.
Okay.
Then I think we'll try to be more realistic because for all I know, Caleb Williams is going to be there at 6. I have no idea.
That happened. The first mock draft I did.
Really?
The Bears took Joe Alt, number 1.
Uh-huh.
And then they offered their next year's first and the 9 pick for the 6th pick. And of course I took it. And I think I ended up with either Malik Neighbors or Romo Dunze. And I was like, yeah, that's not real at all.
All right. So here in this draft, I mean, Neighbors is off the board. I wish it could show. I don't know. Does it let me see the? Well, it doesn't matter. We see who's best available. You got Jaden Daniels. You got Roma Dunze, Joe Alt. And by the way, we're not doing this based off what we would do. We're doing this based off what we think the Giants would do here.
They would go Jaden
I
Daniels.
think they'd go Jaden Daniels.
They go Jaden Daniels, or they would trade back.
Yeah, I think they would go Jaden Daniels. I don't think this is going to happen, but in this spot, I think they would go Jaden Daniels.
I do too.
All right, let's see what happens here at pick 47. Second time around, we'll do a more realistic mock. 47. We took Jaden Daniels. We got a trade offer. I'm not even going to do trades the first time around. All right. So
Leggett.
Yeah, I love Leggett. He's got
I mean, that's you got your quarterback and you got your wide receiver.
Yeah, I love Leggett. Let's see what else is available, but I think that's where I'm leaning. If we're not going wide receiver early, he's got like that DK Metcalf type, body to him.
Huge.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not going to take a tight end here. D-line, we love our guy here, but not taking him over the receiver, I don't think. No. Cornerback, that dude from Michigan, where's he ranked? Is he taken already? Wow, he's gone.
Chris Jenkins?
No, the corner. Sanistro, I think his name is. Giants like him, but he's not available here. Newbin, I like, but yeah, I'm with you, Baddog. I think we're going Leggett here.
At that point, you got to.
We got an A+.
That makes sense.
All right, let's reject this. We'll let the chat do the next mock draft with us. All right, let's go Cooper Beebe, man.
Yeah, oh God, yes. Without question. He ain't going to be there at 70, but yes.
You get a guard at 70. You get one of the top guards in this draft class at 70.
Absolutely.
I think you got to go there. I mean,
you got to go there, either him or Brenson. But I would definitely take the lineman without question.
Let's just see the other options. But
Jonah Ellis. But
no, I'm with you, man. We got to go Cooper Beebe.
Got to go Cooper Beebe there.
So we went offense.
We know where we're weak, man.
We're helping the quarterback.
Yep. Yeah, you got a rookie quarterback. You better help him out. They didn't help Daniel Jones out at all.
All right, here we go. So far, maybe we want to look at corner here. At least look at our options.
Yeah.
I like Kalen Carson. I had him mocked in my mock draft in the 4th. Let's see what else we got. Dwayne Carter, I like. I don't know if you've seen him at all. He's an interesting D-line prospect. I like him.
What do you got for safety?
Safety. Okay.
Tyke Smith, but he'll be there next round.
Sinat's a guy we brought. You want to go offense again? We brought him in for a top 30 visit. And I think we brought in Theo Johnson also. So that's a possibility. Running back.
Papa Gusto, it's 4-3 Rangers with 7 minutes to go in the third period.
There you go. Let's see what the chat. We'll let the chat make this pick. What does the chat think with this pick?
I like Marshawn Lloyd right there.
You like Marshawn Lloyd?
Offense.
We're going all offense, man.
I like Marshawn.
Let's see what the chat wants. So let the chat make this pick. Bill says Sinat for the win. Let's see. I'm gonna let a few more people. Got a couple of Sinats here. Braylon Allen, big running back. Couple people saying Allen. Theo Johnson. Rich says just get the running back. People want running back here, man, dog.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Is this going to be an all-offensive draft?
It might be.
Daniel Campbell says, what corners are there? I mentioned Carson. You also have DJ James, Green from Florida State, Brownlee. We haven't gone corner, and that's obviously a need. But at this point, you're kind of just looking at BPA. It's the 4th round.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. People want to go all offense, man. Look, let's make them happy.
Well, we got rid of Barkley. I mean,
so where are we gonna go? We're gonna go. Most people said Allen. He's huge. I think he's 235, so he's like one of those big body running backs. Or you could go Marshawn Lloyd. What do you think? People were saying Allen. Most people.
Yeah, I think about Marshawn Lloyd. He fumbles a lot, so okay. We got Singletary. You can use a big back. Why not?
Look at this draft.
I know.
Quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line, and running back.
Well, Jaden Daniels would be happy at this point.
He would be. He would.
He's sitting there going, "Wow, they like me. They really, really like me."
All right.
And Daniel Jones would be sitting there going, "Son of a bitch, where was this the 5 years I was here?"
Oh, that's my guy. I think I'm going Carson.
Yeah, you got to go Kalen Carson there.
Love it.
Love it.
I didn't even let the chat decide there.
Yeah,
all right.
I think you and I should be the GMs of the Giants. Look at this draft. Looks like my report card.
And
except for without the A's and A plus.
Let's go. Well, we'll save that for the Eagles. We'll look for funny names with the Eagles. Let's see.
I don't even care. At this point, it's BPA.
Yeah. You want to go punt?
Use the safety. No, I don't think we need a punter. Scottish
I'm curious. Let me look at the Giants' top 30 visits because I think those are guys that they could potentially take here.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of the DTs that potentially could be available. Let's see. No. We'll just go. We'll go with the safety here.
Yeah.
There you go. Like you said, once you get to 183, who gives a damn? like anybody really knows how those guys are going to
right, exactly. You throw darts at a board there.
Yeah. So let's see what we ended up with here, Bad Dog. We end up with, if you're an offensive fan, you got to be happy here. You get Jaden Daniels, Leggett, Cooper Beebe, Braylon Allen, Kalen Carson, and Alapo from a safety.
We got a corner, a safety, and we helped Jalen Daniels out. We got him a running back, a receiver, a guard.
I think most Giant fans are happy on draft night if that happens.
I think if that draft turned out that way,
yeah.
Yes, I think a lot of Giants fans would be very happy.
Now, in reality, that's not happening.
No, Jaden Daniels ain't going to be there at 6.
Yeah, so we're gonna. 1 second. There we go. Let me go back. So, what do you want to do this time, Bad Dog? Do you want to do? Let's let the chat decide. How do you want to do this next draft, guys? Do you want to do like a full first round mock where we pick for everybody? How do you want us to do this mock? Because I think that makes it more fun because it makes it more realistic, at least with our pick in the first round. But how do you guys want to do this next mock draft? Full league first round, Kashif says. Full 2. Or you want to do a full 2 round? That's tough, man. That's tough. Allison, thank you for being a member. She says, "Hi guys, do you think with the Waller news we go possibly Brock Bowers? Or I don't think we go Brock Bowers at 6. If we trade down, yeah, I think Brock Bowers is certainly a possibility. If wherever we're picking, if he were to fall, but I don't think we'll take him at 6. You heard about that today, right? He's getting divorced.
Yeah.
Yeah, his Plum, the basketball, the girl they're breaking up. So obviously that probably played a factor into why he's considering retirement, probably. But yeah, I don't think we would take Bowers at 6.
No, we're not taking Bowers.
Do you have any thoughts on the comments Pew said about DJ? I agree with a lot of what Pew had to say. In pertaining to DJ, I don't have as much faith at this point in DJ as Pew necessarily does, but I agree with a lot of what he had to say. I mean, the Giants have not supported the quarterback, and that was basically the moral of the story with what he had to say. I don't think anybody could really argue that. But the injuries, if you have an opportunity to replace him, yeah, I think you do it. But
you got to, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. They got married a year ago. But no, he didn't retire yet. But he was considering retirement. You got to figure that had something to do with it. So, Bad Dog, let's do a full first round mock draft. I think I'm going to change simulators after this, just because it's easier to find the funny names.
Right.
With the other one. Now, I haven't done any full mock draft, so I have no idea where these guys are going in most mock drafts. I'm just going to spitball it. Let's do it.
Do it.
I've given my thought process on the first 5 because that's all I really care about in the first round. as a Giants fan, but come on, why is this not letting this thing sucks? Enter draft room. Did I do something wrong? Oh, there we go. Okay. So, first pick, Baddog. Pretty obvious.
Caleb Williams.
Pretty obvious. No trades, no nonsense. Caleb Williams is the pick.
Yeah.
All right. Second pick, Washington.
Jaden Daniels. I think we both think Jaden Daniels fits Cliff Kingsbury's system to a T.
Yeah.
I think he's going
I think that's the pick. I think personally Drake May's the second best quarterback, but I think Jaden Daniels is the pick for them. He's a good fit in their offense. Third pick.
I think it's Drake May. Honestly.
Why are they showing the Chicago Bears? I'm confused. What happened?
Did you select do you have to click on? No, you got. I don't know. It says Washington took Jaden Daniels up there.
All right, we'll take Drake May. There we go. Okay. I'm so.
This is.
Let's change simulators. Which one should I use?
What's the one I use? PFN.
PFN. All right, let's do that one.
Yeah, I think that's the one I use. Let me go potty real quick. I'll be right back.
You go potty. All. We're gonna do a first round only. Let's do it. All right. So we already said who the first couple of picks are gonna be. We're gonna go Caleb Williams with the first pick. We're gonna go Jaden Daniels with the second pick. They changed their layout this year, by the way. Patriots were going Drake May. I'll wait till Baddog gets back because this is where it could get interesting. This is where trades could potentially happen. I think it's fairly obvious what the Cardinals would do here if they were not trading out. But I think this is where at least trades become a possibility if it stays chalk with the first three picks. So wait till Baddog gets back. Let's see. No doubt, yeah. But thank you to everybody for being here. Common sense, entertainment. What round is Tuzar skipper? You love that name, Afghanistan. I think he's gonna go in the fourth round this year. So Baddog, this is where it gets interesting. Do you think there's a trade down at 4 or 5 on draft night? I think you're muted, Baddog. I think you're muted.
Okay, there we go. I think Minnesota at least tries. I think Minnesota's trading. I do.
Yeah. I think I agree with you. And you think they go to 4 or 5?
I think they go to 4. I don't think they chance 5 because I mean they might think the Giants might want to trade up to 5. So I think they make their move now.
So all right. So I agree with you. I don't think Minnesota got those picks for no reason. Like they had to get that 23rd pick thinking that there was a strong possibility they were going to have the ability to be able to trade up. So let's go to Minnesota. Where the hell are they? Where are you, Minnesota? Why am I missing you?
They're I can't point. They're on the opposite side of the Giants.
Opposite side of the Giants. God, I'm getting old.
Left corner. Or I'm sorry, left column.
Left column
at the bottom.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Minnesota is going to trade with the Arizona Cardinals. All right, we're going to give up picks 11, 23,
and 129 maybe? Or next year's third.
They don't have a second. I don't think 11 and
20. They don't even have a third.
They have a lot of picks in this draft. So we'll throw in 129 and a third next year. I think you have to give up a lot.
To go from 4 to 11 or 11 to 4, yes.
All right. So let's see if that's accepted. Trade is accepted. So their simulator feels that's a fair trade. All right. So the Vikings move up to 4.
They get McCarthy.
Yeah, they're going McCarthy if they do that. And I agree with you. I think the Vikings are going to get to 4 or 5. They're going to get to one of those two picks. Now the Chargers are up. So far it's been quarterback.
Which is what I think is going to happen.
Do you think there's any possibility that Mr. O-line himself, Jim Harbaugh, could go Joe Alt here?
No, I think they take Marvin Harrison.
You think no matter what, it's MHJ? I agree with I think Marvin Harrison. I'm dreaming about it. I'm hoping
We're trying to be realistic. I mean, it's possible he does take Joe Alt.
Yeah. But I agree with you.
It's possible Joe Shade says, hey, we'll give you next year's third to move up a spot and swap picks, and you can have whatever, and we'll take Marvin. But if we're being realistic, Marvin Harrison Jr. makes the most sense here.
He's the best player in this draft.
Yeah.
You're essentially getting the first pick at pick 5.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think they have to go Marvin Harrison here. Giants at pick 6. So now it comes down to, it's not what we want. It's what we think the Giants are going to do. So at this pick, trade down's off the table. 4 quarterbacks have already gone. Quarterbacks off the table. You're not taking Penix at 6.
We know it's Neighbors or Odunze. I mean,
Neighbors or Odunze. Or I guess Alt if you want to make it sprinkle something in. But I don't.
It's Neighbors or Odunze. I honestly think it's one of those 2 guys for the Giants.
And who do you think they're going to take if they're in this spot on draft?
Again, maybe it's because I'm biased.
Yeah.
But I think Odunze. I think Neighbors has a lot of
off the field stuff.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying they wouldn't. I'll be happy with either one of these damn guys. You can flip a coin. I don't really care. I prefer Odunze, but a lot of people prefer Neighbors. This is split 50-50.
Yeah. A lot of Giants fans have said that. I feel like that's picked up a lot more steam with Giants fans, that they feel Odunze would be the guy because they don't just look at his skill set's ridiculous too. Like he's incredible. But I think they look at the intangibles as well. He seems like a lot of people said they feel like he'd be a better fit in the I guess the culture that the Giants are trying to build. I have thought Neighbors all along. I really have. But listen, you're splitting hairs here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
We'll let the chat finish.
Let the chat pick it.
We'll let the chat pick it. Neighbors or Odunze? I got one neighbor so far. It's a coin flip here. I think it'll be Neighbors, but I could clearly see it being Odunze.
Yeah.
Neighbors, Odunze, Neighbors. It's a split.
Yeah, which is what I figured it would be.
Oh, how do we do this? All right, now it looks like more Odunzes are coming in. All right, I'm gonna go by the chat. I do think there's now more Neighbors are coming. You know what? We need to do a poll. G-Men says. Okay, I don't have my YouTube chat in front of me. You know what? We'll go. All right, let me see if I can do it.
I told you, man. I told you it's going to be split. It's split with us. You prefer Neighbors. I prefer Odunze.
It is split. All right, let's get a poll real quick. Let's get a poll. I just got to pull up my YouTube chat because I can't do it on the StreamYard.
Rangers and Knicks both up 2-0 in their series.
I'm gonna get a poll for you guys. By the way, hit that thumbs up, guys. We got 256 thumbs up. I got to do a better job of.
Got to get more thumbs ups.
Promoting
it's a draft, baby. It's a draft.
Got to do a better job of promoting that. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Let's get the poll going. All right, Neighbors or Odunze? We'll give it about a minute because I feel like people are gonna vote quick. There you go. There's the poll. You guys let me know. Who you're taking there. Neighbors or Odunze? Real quick, it jumped up to 67% Neighbors. We'll wait. It's only been 81 votes thus far. Give it another minute or so. It doesn't look like it's updating for me. It still says 81 votes. All right, now it updated. 196 votes. It's 63% Neighbors. I think Neighbors is getting the edge. It's close. But I think Neighbors is getting the edge, Baddog.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel like that was going to be close without question.
Let's go with Neighbors then. All right, pick 7. I think this is Alt. I think this is one of the easiest picks to mock in the draft.
Yeah.
Tennessee
agree.
Titans, they need tackle help. Alt's probably one of the top 5 or 6 overall players in this draft. I think it makes too much sense. So I think it's Joe Alt to Tennessee. Pick 8. I have no idea who people have been mocking to the Falcons. I feel like they could use help on the defensive side of the
I
ball.
was going to say Dallas Turner probably makes the most sense there.
Yeah, I feel like they could use an edge. I think that is probably the pick that makes the most sense for them. They've drafted heavy offense in recent drafts. I am going to go there. I like the Dallas Turner pick to the Falcons. Chicago.
Fashanu. I think if you
Whoa. What about a Dunze?
Yeah, or Bowers. I mean, I don't know.
They have Cole Kmet, though. They have Cole Kmet.
Right. It doesn't matter. If you can get Brock Bowers, it's still pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, the Patriots won with those 2 tight ends all the time.
I think you got to go with Dunze.
Boy, that's tough because, man, if you got Caleb and you can build your own line,
yeah,
you may do that. But again, at the same time, you know, Chicago.
I feel like I got to go with Dunze. I feel like he's too good, man.
It's true, but didn't they just get the guy from Carolina? I mean, that's tough because Brock Bowers could definitely be the guy there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's any one of those top 3 guys. Any one of those top 3 guys, I think it would be a great pick for Chicago.
Yeah. I feel like Chicago has a decent line. I'm going on Dunze. I'll make this pick. I'll let you make the Jets pick. I'm going to
Jets are taking Brock Bowers at that point.
You think Bowers is the pick?
I think Brock Bowers is the guy there.
You don't think they even contemplate going line? Because I mean, they bring in
Aaron Rodgers. You don't need a line right now. Aaron Rodgers can win with whatever. So Brock Bowers, he's part of the line.
Yeah. All right.
Can you imagine Brock Bowers at Garrett Wilson? I mean, I think the Jets are going to end up with Brock Bowers. I honestly do.
So you get Bowers, Mike Williams, and Garrett Wilson. Rodgers got some toys over there.
I think Brock Bowers is going to be a Jet.
Now, Arizona traded down. They got a plethora of picks. They bypassed the opportunity to take Marvin Harrison Jr. So their fans.
And they don't have now. There's no wide receiver there for.
Dunze's gone. Bowers is gone. Do they reach here for wide receiver? Like wide receivers a need for them. It's definitely a need for them. Do you see a potential reach here for like a Brian Thomas Jr.? You know, like I don't know their offensive line situation, but I could see in this spot, I could see something like that.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know their situation. I mean, I don't know how good their line is. I haven't done much research on the Arizona Cardinals, but
no, me neither.
I'll let the chat make this pick, but I could see this being like a reach pick here for like a Brian Thomas Jr. in a situation like this. Arizona trading too far back. So you don't think they would drop to? I mean, who else could they trade with if it's not us?
Yeah,
Rich says they're going O-line. They're going O-line.
Definitely go O-line.
All right, let's go O-line for them. Let's go. Ooh, they could go line if they need edge. They could go. He's good out of UCLA. I think I will go line here. We'll go for Shanu here to Arizona. Denver. Do they go quarterback? Do they go Penix? Do they go Nix? Do they contemplate it here?
I mean, they just got
Zach Wilson.
Yeah. But what are you going to do here?
It's tough.
This is tough because now, like you said, now we're getting into teams where I'm like, I don't know what the hell Denver needs. I don't ever pay attention to the Broncos. Man, who the hell knows?
I like Latham. I don't know. I don't know.
You can always give him an offensive lineman. I don't think you can go wrong there. I don't know how good their defense is.
Oh, who's the corner? I mean, I don't. What's the corner's name I really like? At the top of this draft, I like DeJohn a lot too out of Iowa. I wouldn't take him here, but I like him. Where the hell is he ranked? My God, where's the corners? Hold on. How do you do this by position? Defense, corner, Mitchell. I like him out of Toledo, but I don't know their corner situation.
I don't either.
Let's see what the chat's saying. Yeah, I like DeJohn too. Yeah, they have Surtain. I know Big Mike, but rumors are, I mean, that's one. Could they use another?
Right.
Yeah. Weapon on offense. You think they could potentially go with the wide receiver here? A lot of people have said like Brian Thomas, they feel is like not that far out of the top 3. I've seen a lot of people say that. All right, let's give it to him. Raiders, I think, could go quarterback.
Michael Penix.
I think they could go quarterback.
I think Michael Penix is their guy.
And we could have done more trades here, by the way. Like if they want to jump the Denver, they could have done that.
Right.
But I could certainly see something like that on draft night. But we'll go Michael Penix here to the Raiders.
I can see them taking Michael Penix.
They need to go in line. They always go line. I've heard that they need a tackle. I think they're going line. We'll go with Fuaga. Colts.
Yeah, they could probably use O-line.
They lost Pittman, right? I think. Did they lose? I know he was a free agent.
I'm pretty sure that they did.
Not that
again, I don't know how their offensive line is, but you got Anthony Richardson. I'm just thinking, listen, maybe it's because we've seen with Daniel Jones, they didn't protect him, and we saw what happened to him. So anytime somebody has a good young quarterback, I'm just always thinking protect him.
Let's see. Latu to the Colts, Kylie says. And RL says 3-way trade. Giants go to 3 for May. Pats move back to 4 for JJ. And Zona goes 6 for MHJ. Everybody's happy. Hey, you never know. And that's why I think our pick. Oh, Pittman did resign. That's why I think our pick holds so much value, is because of the situation we just saw play out with the Arizona Cardinals. It's a huge drop off from pick 6 to 11 in this draft. Especially at the position that they're looking, everybody knows they need a wide receiver. So that's why I think if the Giants wanted to trade up, they would be able to. Who's taking JJ and where? We had JJ going 4th overall. We had Minnesota trading up to get him. Yeah, so Pittman re-signed. I thought I knew he was a free agent. I wasn't sure if he re-signed or not, so he did re-sign. Let's see. But I think JJ's going in the top 5. Just a matter of where. Brian Thomas for the Colts. Did we take? We didn't take Thomas yet. No, we did. I think we did take Thomas.
Yeah,
right?
Denver.
Yeah, Denver took Brian Thomas. Yeah, let's go Latu. I've seen him go. We still haven't gone corner.
It would help if it showed the needs.
I know. This sucks. They used to, didn't they?
Maybe that was PFF that showed the needs.
Yeah, let's do PFF real quick. We won't do a full first round again though, because I'm not even gonna lie. I don't.
Yeah, it's hard because
I haven't done near enough research on every team in the league.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find time to do.
When the Giants,
I'm more concerned about the Giants.
Yeah, there you go. This is better. They list the needs. It makes it a lot easier. But let's do Giants specific again. Let's make it fun. We'll do this more realistic though. So if Jaden Daniels is there, we won't take him because odds are he's not going to be there.
Correct.
So
you can only do 3. That's why I used the other one, because you can only do 3 rounds. You got to pay for PFF, and I'm not paying for that.
So again, this is our second mock draft we've done, and Jaden Daniels is there again. And not only is he there, where the hell is he ranked? Where's Jaden Daniels ranked? He's ranked 21st.
Wow.
PFF has him as a 4.3 average draft position, but he's ranked 21st.
Okay.
No chance. But I don't think
at this point it's Neighbors. Odunze is not there. I think it's Neighbors.
Because we're going to be realistic, because they're not drafting Jaden Daniels.
Right.
He's not going to be there.
No.
He's going to Washington. All right, second round. We got our wide receiver. I like the 3-round mocks because, once you get out of the day 2, we have fun with the Tuskas of the world and whatever. But
yeah, absolutely.
I love Fisk. I think he's
a lot of people love Fisk.
Yeah, I think he's a good pick here if we want to go interior defensive line. We're obviously not thinking wide receiver, even though I do like Roman Wilson a lot. I like Keon.
A lot of people like Keon Coleman. Yeah.
But we're not doing that. Bullard, interesting prospect out of Georgia.
There's our guy Chris Jenkins.
There's our guy Chris Jenkins.
TJ Tampa.
I think we brought him in for a top 30 visit, if I'm not mistaken. Haynes, he's a possibility.
A lot of people like Edrin Cooper.
Let me look at our top. I'm just curious. Let me look at our top 30 visit and see what guys are available here. Wide receivers, we already know. Quarterback, we're not going here. BB, we brought him in for a top 30. Let me see if he's available. Let's see. Where we go. Offensive line, Cooper BB. He is available. Wow, they got him ranked third. Holy crap, man.
Wow. PFF has it way different than.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Let's get this all positions. All right, let's see. Let's go with I think most Giant fans would be happy with this pick. He's a fun prospect, man. He really is. He's a
Joseph has it right. He says people get paid a lot of money and spend a lot of time to figure this out. The rest of us are just guessing. You're absolutely right.
They're guessing too, if we're being honest.
Yeah, but he's right. They get paid a lot of money and do a lot more research. I mean, that's their job.
This is fun.
We just speculate, right? We just speculate.
Third round pick. I mean, I think this is the first round where you could contemplate going running back. I'm not saying you do, but you could. Jalen Wright, really fun prospect. He ran like a 4.35. Benson, we brought in for a top 30. The only running back we brought in for a top 30. So he's a clear possibility here, and he's a good player too. I've watched him once. I saw
them. Brought in Spencer Rattler for a top 30.
They did. They brought in Spencer Rattler for a top 30. That's a possibility. I think those are the three guys probably. I mean, well, let me consider the line here. Let's look at the O-line. BB's still available.
Yep.
We haven't taken a corner yet either, right?
Right.
Andrew Phillips, we brought in for a top 30. He's available. Might take him.
I know it's. Again, we could sit there and say, all these guys, and then they end up taking somebody completely.
I think I go corner here.
Yeah, I mean, we need a corner. Listen,
I think I go corner here. There you go. There's our 3-round mock draft.
Yeah.
Now, Baddog, what we got to do, but we can't do it on PFF because it doesn't let you do 7 rounds.
Right, you got to go to PFN again.
We're not going to be able to do the full value for the Eagles.
Correct. We got to get the full value for the
We got to make sure the Eagles really stock up on their special.
Oh, always.
Let's get
Football Network. That's the one.
Let's get to the chat real quick. Keon Coleman is the Jonathan Mingo of this draft. Everybody loved Mingo last year. Everybody. I like Mingo too. Everybody loved Mingo last year. Let's see. I think we're doing the Eagles here. What do you guys think? What does the chat think? You think you guys ready for an Eagles draft? We're gonna go 7 rounds.
The Eagles love it. They love when we draft for them.
Let's go pro football.
You and I are gonna put Harry Roseman out of a job one of these days the way we draft.
All right, let's go. Eagles. I mean, when you look at this team, we say it every year, and they never listen to us.
I know.
You got to try to improve those special teams.
So I think you got to trade back at some point here. But I mean, maybe you keep the pick, pick 22. But those long snappers are so hard to come by. You're probably looking there.
I'm surprised we didn't trade up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's true.
But
I should have traded up.
Give up everything. So?
But I mean, you got to get some picks. I mean,
all right, let's start where it matters most. First pick here for the Eagles.
I mean, Matt Hayball. I mean, Hayball. I mean, we know the Eagles love bulls. I mean, it's
Matt Hayball. That's a good
name. Might be a little bit too good. I don't really know. You got Ben. You Better Call Souls is down there.
Kay Kroger.
Right.
Tory Taylor. Sounds kind of like a porn star or something.
Right.
I could go with that.
Little Hayball.
I think I like Soul. I think
I mean, Better Call Souls. I mean, they probably will. Why wouldn't you? Better Call Souls.
So Eagles get a nice punter here to start the draft.
They definitely do.
We're going to reject that trade. We're going to keep it going. Too much value here with this pick.
Way too much value. And
so we got a punter. And now the most important position for the Eagles has to be kicker.
Or long snapper, but I don't know if they have that.
Doesn't look like they offer the long snapper this year, which is a disappointment.
It is, unless it's on the offensive line. But Will Reichert is, I mean, he was looking amazing, missing all those kicks for Alabama. But the wind in Philadelphia is different. So I think if you took the wind in Philly and moved it to Alabama, Reichert probably would have been the best kicker. He might have been top 10. I mean, I think that's a steal.
You get him at 50?
Yeah.
Guy who could clearly kick it from deep. Who do you like here?
The Alabama Reichert. I mean, he's
strong leg.
He's very strong leg and very accurate.
Oh, look at this. We're back up at 53.
Wow. It's amazing.
I mean, maybe we want to look elsewhere. Let's see if we can get value here at the corner spot. I mean, all the experts are going to have you going with, Sanistril or Carson.
Carson.
Look at
Howie, Chris, he thinks outside the box.
He does. And he's a name guy.
He is.
You look at
Tyler Boatwright's pretty sweet. I mean,
Central Connecticut. I mean, that breeds some of the best players in the NFL.
Without question. And Middle Tennessee, without question, is one of the better schools.
Patrick Jolly. I mean, what do you do here? I mean, we have options. Let's go to the linebacker. Let's check out some of their names.
Yeah.
That's where you get your value.
Eli Neal, it's close to Evan Neal. And, I think pretty good.
Yeah. Steel Chambers. Wasn't Steel Chambers in last year's draft? Maybe not. I feel it. I mean, no, because he played this year. I remember him at Ohio State. That's such a cool name. Such a cool name. Too cool to play for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe they go Dallas Gant because they have a Dallas Goddard and they want the all Dallas team.
I mean, you could go quarterback here. They need value there, right?
Well, that kid from Syracuse is supposed to be really good.
What do you
think? I mean, who wouldn't want Gavin Hard, his son, from UTEP? I mean, you talk about quarterback. I mean, UTEP is quarterback central. Like they call Penn State linebacker. I think UTEP is QBU.
I think we just found them their next Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, better.
We got
probably found them their next Pat Mahomes.
Let's see.
Is Jack Plummer Jake Plummer's kid? I'm being serious. Does anybody know if that's Jake Plummer's kid?
That's a good question. I do not know. Jake the Snake Plummer. Is he?
Jake Plummer was the girl at the quarrel. Sometimes he'd be really good. Sometimes he'd be really bad.
It might be his kid. I mean, not many people are named Plummer, and he plays quarterback.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's close to Jake. I don't know. I actually being serious.
Yeah, no, I know you are. I know you are. Let's see. Let's go back to the specials.
Javante Spraggins is a cool name. That's pretty cool. I think
Charles Smith Wade. Let's see.
Jared's right. You definitely need some depth at kicker. I mean, if your kicker goes down, Dubin Aquanquo, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that name.
That's a good name. And Pittsburgh State. I mean, who even knew that was a college? I mean, Harry Roseman's finding, diamonds in the rough. And Pittsburgh State has to be. I have never heard of that. I didn't even know that was a school.
Well, now you do.
And Harry Roseman, though, that's why Harry Roseman is where he is, and I'm on YouTube, because Harry Roseman knows all about Pittsburgh State and the talent.
Let's go offense here. Oh, let's check out specials. Somebody in the chat mentioned, I think it's a good point. You could never have enough depth at the kicker spot.
You definitely can't.
You can't. Kickers go down all the time. We saw it last year as Giants fans. Graham Gano goes down.
That's true.
Killed us.
That's why we lost.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with all the injuries. And it was Graham Gano.
I like Hayball.
Hayball's a great Hayball. And it reminds me of Dayball. So, the Eagles are trying to play mind games with us. They take Saquon Barkley. Now they want to get a punter that rhymes with our coach's last name.
So they get depth at the punter spot.
Yeah. Boy, the Eagles are killing this draft. Look, they got 2 picks in a row here.
Well, if you got 2 picks in a row, I think the Eagles are smart enough here to double dip. So when I mean that, I mean maybe you go with 2 kickers here because you don't know if these guys will continue to fall down. So you might go with your 2 best available kickers here.
It's very possible.
So then
And
that's 3 kickers for the Eagles if they go ahead.
you got to look at the schools. Like Michigan, that's too well known. Like everybody knows James Turner.
Yeah.
Missouri, they're an SEC school. Everybody knows Harrison Mavis.
South
So
Alabama.
when you start to look at South Alabama and Diego Guajardo,
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, a lot of people probably aren't looking at.
Diamond in the rough.
Yeah, Howie loves those.
Got another trade-off. We're going to ignore that because we're going to double up here.
The Eagles aren't giving up on these guys.
So now, I mean, you look at the Eagles' 53-man roster after our draft, you're going to have what? 4 punters, 3 kickers.
They're not going to run out. That's that.
They're going to have plenty of depth.
Man, listen, teams might want to trade because Eagles are, that's part of their strategy. Take all the punters and kickers so nobody can have one, and you make the trade later. It's called supply and demand.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
That's a good call. Jonah Dalmas, I mean, Boise State, played on the Smurf turf.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He's used to the different types of elements. Not every kicker is accustomed to playing on blue turf.
I think they might need another long snapper, though. You might have to look at that offensive line.
You want to go back to the offensive line?
I think they have to look at the offensive line.
All right, let's go to centers.
Yeah.
Willie Lampkin.
And Ireland Brown. I mean, listen,
Ireland
Brown. You're talking about green, and the Eagles are green.
Yeah, that's a good
call. And then you got Brown on top of it. So you got green and brown. You mix it together, it's mud. It looks like puke. The Eagles look like puke. It makes sense.
It fits in with the fans.
And he goes to Rutgers, so they're stealing a New York City kid. So they want to do that. They try to stick it to the Giants every way they can.
I could see that. It makes sense. Ireland Brown makes sense to the Eagles. Good call. You talked me into it. Eagles have a lot of picks in this draft, don't they?
They really do have a lot of picks. Good Lord.
Running back. Who do you like here? Maybe you give him Frank Gore Jr., the son.
You could.
You could.
Monmouth. I mean, I just saw a kid from Monmouth. I mean,
smart. You got to be smart if you go to Monmouth.
Jaden Sheridan.
That's a good football school.
I mean, that's a good football school. What a question.
We got a stacked roster here for the Eagles.
The Eagles have like 40 picks.
All right, let's take a
rounder.
Look at this draft.
That is incredible. If Pro Football, I mean, PFN don't give grades, but if they did, they wouldn't be a grade high enough to grade that. It would break the internet. I'm surprised it didn't.
So they end up with Ben Sauls at 22, which they have no. I mean, I would have figured they're trading up to get him.
Yeah.
Howie's smart enough to stand pat. Not only does he get Sauls, he doubles up on the second best kicker in the draft at pick 50 with Will Reichard.
That's
Alabama. Winning pedigree. It's a good pick. He's a winner.
Look at the schools. You got Pittsburgh State. You got Vanderbilt. You got Rutgers. You got Monmouth, South Alabama, UTEP. That's a winning draft.
It's a good mix. You got the powerhouses like Alabama. Then you got kind of the mid-tier schools like Pittsburgh and UTEP. And then you mix it in with the lower guys like a Pittsburgh State, Monmouth. It's like a melting pot.
And don't sleep on Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Well, especially
don't sleep on Vandy,
What a draft, man. Yeah. So you end up getting 3 kickers.
That's amazing.
You get a punter. You get a third-string quarterback. You get a
long snapper.
Named
Ireland. They killed it. They killed it.
Draft. What does the chat think?
I mean, they love it.
I think Easy Lopez says Ben Sauls is steal. I think
I agree, Easy. I mean, without question, better call Sauls. Huge steal at 22.
LeVar says, "Are we just giving the?" No, what are you talking about, man? We just gave him 3 kickers, dude.
No, we're doing the best we can for this team. Jay says it's perfect.
Lawrence Tynes would love this draft.
Lawrence Tynes says he couldn't have picked. If he was a GM, he couldn't have picked a better class.
And Percival says, "I know it's a different sport, but our Knicks are on fire, dude. Love the Knicks, man. Hopefully they could get a split in Philadelphia, and you get back to the Garden 3-1.
Yeah, get up 3-1, get back to the Garden.
But yeah, great start for the Knicks, man. Great start for the Knicks. Who did the Giants take in this draft? Can we look at that? Let me see. Full results. Let's see who the Giants ended up with. Malik Neighbors, which is who we think they're going to take.
I was going to say, you should just run a simulated draft for the first 2 rounds without us picking, just to see what the
They took
with the
Penix in
computer
the
pick.
second round. Wow, you would love that.
Oh my God, I would flip shit if they got Penix in the second. Penix and Neighbors.
Wow, neighbors.
If that ever happened, my God, I mean I might be happier than the Eagles fans if the Eagles drafted those players we just drafted for them.
Bo Nix seems like such a Patriot pick too, doesn't he?
So who did the Patriots take first?
That's a good question. The Patriots at pick 3, they took Marvin Harrison. Dallas Turner went 4th. Where's the Jaden Daniels goes 10, McCarthy goes 11.
Minnesota would love that if he fell to 11.
Of course.
Wow, Penix at 47. I would. I don't know what I would do.
We get a D tackle from Clemson.
I would need a change of shorts if they got Penix at 47. I can tell you that much.
Dex gets one of his buddies, interior defensive lineman from Clemson.
Yep.
And then what do we do in the round 4? Blake Corum. That's a fun pick.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
In the 4th round, are you kidding me? 5th round, we end up. Do we have a 5th round pick? Oh yeah, we do. Just late. We had a corner at Devonshire out of Pittsburgh, a corner, and then in the 6th round, our final pick at 183, we get Jalen Coker out of Holy Cross.
Holy Cross.
That's not a bad draft though. I mean, at the top, the first 4 picks.
Wow, they got Joe Milton going 208th to the Raiders.
I could see it. The 6th round, I could see it. Maybe goes.
No, I'm just saying that's.
You want to do one where the computer just mocks it?
Yeah, let the computer pick it just for the Giants. I mean, well, they can do it all. It doesn't really matter.
So when did PFF do this? Where you can't?
Oh, that's PFF. You go to PFN. It's freaking
PFF. So now you got to pay to do a mock draft on.
Yeah, PFF don't. Yeah.
All right, so we'll do 6 because we don't have a pick in the 7th round. Well, we won't pick a team. We'll just do.
Yeah, let's see what the computer
picks.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look. I just saw our first pick. Giants fans ain't gonna be happy, but we'll look at it in a minute. I think maybe I'm wrong. It went by fast, but didn't look like a pick the Giants fans would be very happy with. Come on.
Come on.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure I saw, Fashanu at 6.
Yeah, that would not be a good pick.
Giants fans not gonna be happy with that. So imagine if this happened on draft night, and Fashanu's a good player, but imagine if this happened on draft.
I'm wondering if McCarthy actually fell to 6.
He felt the Jets take McCarthy.
I wonder if the Giants would take McCarthy at 6.
They can't. I mean, or Dunze.
I know. Yeah.
And 111 of the Vikings.
Yeah, I don't think a Dunze is getting there.
And why would the Vikings take a Dunze?
Yeah,
they got Justin Jefferson. They got the dude Addison.
TJ Hawkinson. Not that he's a wide receiver, but yeah, they're not taking one.
That's why these computer drafts are so stupid. But
I know they are. That's why I just said just do the computer picks.
Yeah. 2nd round, Giants. So they go, oh my God. 3rd round, Polk out of Washington. 4th round.
I'd rather have the other Washington receiver.
Giants fans would throw up with this draft.
Yeah, they would.
They would hate this draft.
Yeah.
Fashanu's good, but not with our pick. This is not a good draft.
No.
Pick round 6. Who do we end up with?
To the top right.
Tyrone Tracy Jr. We got a running back. That would, that's why we don't let PFF do our drafts or PFN. Yeah. Let's let the chat do one by themselves. So we'll do what's the best one you think? I guess this one, Pro Football Network.
Yeah.
We'll let the chat make every pick. Just Giant specific. 7 rounds.
6. We only got 6 picks.
Oh, 6 rounds. We're going to let you guys make every single pick.
Wow.
They're gonna pick Jaden Daniels. They're gonna pick Jaden Daniels. I already know, but
They have Fashanu going third to the. You gotta talk about it. You want to talk about someone that he pissed off?
we got to change simulators. This one's awful. Let's try this one again. Let's see. Let's see if this one's better.
That one is bad. That's the one I used. That the Bears took Joe Alt first.
Let's see. All right, let's try this again. Let's see if it's better. We'll let the chat make the pick. All right, so Adunze's off the board. We won't do trade. Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams is there?
And Marvin Harrison.
Who the hell got taken before? I saw Dunze up there.
Come on, man.
Who the hell else? Who got taken so far?
Let's restart it. Let's at least be like semi-realistic. Let's try it again. All right, Caleb got taken. Marvin got Drake May's available. We all know the Giants fans are taken.
So Romo Dunze is there as well. So
it's a Dunze or May.
Is McCarthy still there? Somebody take McCarthy. It's May at that point. It's gotta be May.
I mean, I'll let the chat do it, but it's obviously gonna be May. So the chat gets to pick May.
Yeah. I think that's
I don't know. He ain't getting a 6, but you never know. All right, pick 47. We'll let the chat make the pick. Brock Bowers just went at like 19.
Yeah.
He could drop. He's a tight end. I don't think he'll drop that far, but
I think he's a Jet.
Yeah.
I think he's a Jet.
All right. So here's your
option. I
got
got still there.
Lad McConkey. I like him at 47.
I like him a lot. Yeah.
Got Coleman, Fisk, Pearsall. I'm gonna give the chat all their options before I turn to them, and then I'm gonna let them pick. Braswell. We're not going linebacker there. Beebe, Haynes, Newbin, Bullard, corner. Who's a corner? Sanistril. We've shown he could be a guy that we pick here. We're not going tight end there, I don't think. All right, so you guys saw everybody available. I'm thinking they're going to go McConkey, but we'll see. What do you think?
I see a couple of Keon Coleman's.
Was Leggett available? I didn't see that. I missed that. Leggett's
you got to go to wide receiver, I think. I don't think he was there, but
Haynes,
quick wide receiver, see where he is.
Sanistril, it's a mix. Wide receiver.
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
I mean, maybe it's Franklin or McConkey. Keon Coleman's a guy a lot of people like too. I know that.
Yeah.
If you're going wide receiver, and obviously you're thinking about wide receiver if you just went quarterback. Let's see. Let's see the most common answer. A lot of people are saying Haynes. McConkey. I feel like Haynes and McConkey are the two most common names. I'm going to go McConkey. I'll go McConkey.
Well, I mean, you might as well get Drake May another receiver.
There you go. That's an A+ pick.
Of course it is. He ain't going to be there at 47.
No, I think he goes late third, very early second round. I think he's going to be a very early second round pick. Okay, so we're on the clock. I mean, BB staring you in the face if you want to go offensive line.
Yeah.
Trice.
I love him.
That's good value there. You get a good edge.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll be there, but
like Corum,
Jalen Wright and Corum if you want to go running back. What other we haven't gone corner yet, right? We could look there. Phillips, again, a guy we brought in for a top 30 visit. Safety. I like Trice, man. I've seen a bunch of Washington games like
I like Trice.
He's a good player. Let's see what the chat thinks. I got some BBs. I got Phillips. I got BBs. Jalen Wright. I feel like so far, BB's been the most common name. It's close, but I think BB's. I'm going to go BB. I feel like he's been the most common name.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that pick. I think Giants fans are pretty happy with those first 3 picks on draft night.
Yeah.
The chat's doing a good job. Not that Drake May is going to be there, but hey, you never know.
Right. Not that Lad McConkey would be there at 47 either. But maybe, I mean, Cooper Beebe, that's possible.
Let's see. Andrew Phillips still available. Ben Sinnott still available. Certainly a possibility there. Kitchen still available. Bullock, I like him. He's still available. There's a lot of good players here. Let's see. Edge. Nobody at edge.
Nobody.
Safety. Corner. I think Phillips is probably the pick that chat's going to say, but we'll see.
Yeah, I see Phillips a lot in there.
Phillips, Kitchens, McMillan.
We took a wide receiver though. I like McMillan, but we
Bill says Sinnott. We do like Sinnott. We brought him in. No TikTok for you. I don't know what Joseph means by that. Let's see. A lot of people saying Kitchens. I saw a few McMillans. You want to go Kitchens? You want to go safety here? Why not? I saw a lot of Kitchens late.
Kinchins.
Okay, I'm sorry, Kinchins.
Yeah, not to be confused with Freddie Kinchins. Jesus.
People were typing Kitchens in the chat, so they.
No, I gotcha.
Let's see. Kalen Carson. He's a guy that I've been looking at. I don't think he's going to get to 160 in life, but maybe he'll get there now. He just went. I like the running back out of Notre Dame. He didn't have a great combine, but he's a talented running back. I love him as a potential target at 107 or 166, but Estime is gone. So you got Kalen Carson. You got Leonard Taylor. So far, we've gone safety, interior offensive line, wide receiver, and quarterback. I mean, at this point, you're just drafting the best player available. I mean, I obviously a lot of people are going to say go corner or whatever, but you're taking the best player available. Let's see the edges. I'll let the chat decide. You guys let me know. Carson. He just went authentic estimate. He just went. I do like him though. I watched him in a couple of Notre Dame games. He's a good player. Is Theo Johnson there, the tight end? I don't think so. I think he's ranked much higher. Yeah, he's not there. Shipley. Was Shipley there? Let's see. I'm going to go Carson. I think the majority of people said Carson at the beginning, so I'm going to go Carson. And then the last pick. Final pick, guys. Oh, we got a trade offer. We're going to say no to that. So far we got a quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line, safety, and a corner. Pretty well-rounded draft in terms of the positions.
Yeah.
You guys are making the last pick. What running backs are there? Now, we have not gone running back. This would be a good time to do it if we're gonna. Nobody that's going to get you excited. Bumper pool.
Pumper Pool rules.
Pool, unfortunately, is not available. He's not available. Let's see. McCaffrey and put him at right. Joe Milton and move him to tight end. Joe Milton would be a fun pick here.
He would.
We already took a quarterback though, so you're not doing that.
Oh, Washington did that with whatchamacallit.
That's true. That's true.
You never know.
Steel Chambers is definitely my favorite name in the class, Jimmy. I hope we draft him just because of his name.
Steel Chambers. Seems like he should go to Pittsburgh.
He had a 9.9 RAS score. Why not then? Take a shot on him here late in the draft. You talked me into it. There you go. So that is the chat's draft. Not bad, guys. You ended up.
I mean, look at the grades again.
You ended up with a quarterback that most people have going top 3. You ended up with a wide receiver that most people have going early second. You got him in the mid second. You got a lineman a lot of people feel could be a mid to late second round pick in the 3rd. Not bad, guys. I think Carson's is good value there at 166. I like it. I think the chat kicked our ass, Baddog.
I think they did. Yeah, it's pretty good draft.
Yeah. But guys, it's 10:33. We started early because I have work early tomorrow.
You and me both, buddy.
Yeah, I gotta go into the city tomorrow. So
I don't have to do that, but I do have to get
I work from home 4 days a week, but Wednesdays I gotta go into the city. So if we don't see you tomorrow, we'll definitely see you Thursday night for sure. We'll see how we feel tomorrow. But worst case, we'll be on Bad Dogs, as you guys always know. Night number 1 of the draft. I can't wait. What time does the draft start, Bad Dog? 8, 7:30?
8 o'clock. Probably be live at 7:30 because little Bad Dog has swimming lessons from 6:30 to 7, so I got to take him there. I'll eat before I take him there, so I'll probably get home. I'll say 7:30, but it's not too far from my house where he has a swimming lesson, so maybe 7:15. I'll text you the link when I'm ready to go, but between 7:15 and 7:30, we'll hit it off.
Yeah, I will see what time I get out of work. Maybe I'll go live for an hour and a half to try to get some hype and get them over to your channel before the stream. But either way, regardless, we'll be live whenever Bad Dog's ready to go on draft night. I can't wait, and hopefully I'll have a lot of fun with you guys on draft night. Hopefully the Giants take a player that 50% of the fan base can agree on, and the other half doesn't want to kill us.
Right, exactly. It's a good way to put it.
But you guys have a great rest of your night, and hopefully the Giants knock this draft out of the park. Be well, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Be good, everybody. Can't wait for Thursday, baby. We out.
Let's go. Would you trade up to get Marvin Harrison? No, unless it was at 5 and it was for a very affordable price. But probably not. No. But have a good night, guys.